Happy February, happy winter, happy Valentines or Galentines, whatever your vibe is. Happy day you get to design with flowers. I am so grateful you found your way here. I'm incredibly grateful for your purchase. If this is your first time designing flowers with one of our collections at home, welcome. My name is Kaylin Sheik. I own a company called Sweetwater Floral, and my goal in life is getting more flowers into your hands so you can have the creative experience of getting to hang out and play with them and learn a new skill. That's what we're going to do today. You've made it this far. Let's go over a little bit about what you need to have your best success at designing today. You need a vessel to design in with water. Very simple. I have two things I'm going to work with today. I might switch it up. I don't know. We're flying by the seat of our pants here as always. And then you need your flowers. Your flowers have come to you already. Hopefully you've already cut them, given them a fresh drink of water, and they are just relaxing, zhuzhing, hanging out, taking a big drink, as we like to say, and they are ready to design with. My top tip is that you've given your flowers at least 24 hours to drink water. If they just came a couple hours ago and you can hang out a few more and wait for them to open up a little bit and relax and condition, your arrangement will look 10 times better just because they are very thirsty after all the stress they went to get to your door. All right, other thing you need is snips. I like using just regular old garden shears, nothing crazy. I got these from a big box store. And you wanna make sure that they're sharp enough to go through the flowers really easily. If you can avoid using kitchen scissors, you will be so grateful you did. But if not, no one's watching you, no one's gonna judge you. Okay, first things first, you've got your vessel, you've got your snips, you've got your flowers. We are gonna start this year with the Galentines collection. So if you purchased Galentines, here comes that tutorial. If you did not, and you don't wanna watch me design flowers for 5 or 10 minutes, I totally get it. You can just skip ahead a little bit and we will put up a screen that says it's time for Valentine's collection. All right, Galentines, assemble. All right, Galentine's vibes. Number one, absolutely our best seller this year. You guys really, really loved this one, which makes me excited because I love it. I love it's pink, it's fun, it's playful. We are gonna get all our product ready to go here. So I like taking everybody out of water before I design with it because I think it just gives you a cleaner workspace and you sort of know what you're getting into. Delicate with these babies, delicate with these babies. So what I'm doing is I'm separating everything we got by variety. I'm making sure that I'm being extra gentle to my special stems like the scabiosa, the Delphinium, and your ranunculus. I like laying it, it's just like cooking. If you've ever worked with me before, you know, you gotta get your mise en place, you know, get your stuff ready, get everything ready to go. So I like separating by variety and ingredient. Mini cards, can you even? I am obsessed with these. Okay, so now we've got everything ready to go. We're ready to design. All right, the time has come. Hey, before we get going, we're gonna zhuzh our roses. If you know me, this is something I'm very passionate about, which is I don't want your roses to look like crap. So chances are they've had some time to drink, but they all look like this. And this is not the rose we wanna put into our arrangement. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take one and you are going to first peel and pick off these guard petals, these green things right here. So I'm just pinching and pulling them off. This is step one into conditioning and processing a rose so it looks good. Step two, I'm gonna remove these outside petals. Usually there's 2, maybe 3 that need to go. You can tell they need to go if they have a more leathery texture. You'll be able to see it when you're looking. Trust your gut. When in doubt, take less off the rose. Don't go crazy like me from the jump. Then you're gonna take your pincer or your pincher and you're just gonna get in and gently relax the rose, sort of opening it up a little bit. You can also spin it in your hands upside down like this. Some people like doing it this way. It just helps it to open up. But let's take a look. We're opening up and then I'm really gonna get in here and not be afraid. It's a gentle pressure. It is not, I'm not manhandling it. I'm not like going in, you know, like you're trying to do something really intense. You're just sort of helping it along, getting it to open up a little bit. And then if you want to, you can fold back or reflex the outside petal or two to give you a completely different look. If you are uncomfortable with this at any time, you're like, I don't want to bend those petals. What the heck is she doing? This is crazy. This is sorcery. Don't get into it. Your rose will look gorgeous. But I am much more vibing rose that's been zhuzhed versus rose that came in your package, right? So we love this rose. This guy needs a little bit of work. Pretty cool. Same rose, same variety. Makes me happy. Okay, let's start designing. I'm going to get my greenery in and then my roses, and then we'll check back in. So I'm gonna set my greenery. I want you to work with your eucalyptus first, then your roses. Just sort of have fun arranging it, and then we'll see how you're doing. All right, so in the midst of placing my roses in, you're gonna see that I'm gonna put this little doodad in. And do you notice how these are at the exact same height? We wanna avoid that because they are the same kind of flower and they're sort of creating like wings, you know, wings, ears, eyes. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna remove this, take another inch, if that, off, just so I can bury this in a little bit and it's not right there matching the one going opposite. You're always gonna have ingredients that end up being at the same height in your arrangement. What you don't want is that they are completely across from each other, so they look like handlebars or whatever. So I'm gonna keep going on this. I'm gonna add a couple more roses. We got our eucalyptus in here, and then we're gonna move on to another ingredient. All right, so I've got some roses going and I got some eucalyptus. Next is stock. And why do I want you to add your stock next? Because it's another focal flower. They're pretty big. They're a great line flower. This is gonna create some really cool shape. On stock, you're gonna remove a lot of this stuff. You're gonna remove all the leaves, and then I usually pinch and remove the bottom couple blooms because they age from the bottom to the top. So your guys at the top are gonna be looking the best and the guys at the bottom are gonna be a little bit duddy. That's okay, it's totally normal. We've freshened this up, and now I'm just gonna have fun sort of creating lines of color throughout the arrangement. Don't overthink it. My number one rule with arranging flowers is just have fun. This is supposed to be a relaxing and fun process for you. This is not supposed to be something that is like triggering your type A personality. If you're a type A, goddess bless you. But it's really hard to be type A and design flowers. So I really just want you to sort of mix and match, have fun, changing the heights. Remember, we're changing height and we're changing direction and we're changing our variety of what we're putting in, and we're having fun with it. Don't ever be afraid to have a line flower like stock. Have a little moment and always follow a line you set with your greenery. So I'm getting this guy ready to go. And I like where this greenery is coming out, so I'm gonna have this stock sort of coming up and dancing along with it, just so my eye travels outward. I'm designing this facing you right now, but you can see when you're working, you really wanna work on turning your work also. I'm gonna finish up placing my stock and then move on to my Delphinium, which is also a line flower because it's tall and long, but it also helps fill in some of our gaps. All right, so we're adding our Delphinium and you've tucked it in and you're loving it. Pro tip. Little bits and bobs are your friend. So if you cut your Delphinium and you have this is not trash. This is like the holy grail. This is the difference maker. This is what's gonna make your arrangement gorgeous. So these little tiny bits, just tuck in there to have them coming out for a little bit of a whimsical, sort of wild flowery look. That is the difference in Sweetwater floral design versus somebody else's. We like this natural textural element instead of just all major big focal blooms. We want to have a couple different things going, especially in an arrangement that has as much texture as this one. All right, so now we are going to add our flair. We added our focal, which was our roses, our filler, which was our stock, and our Delphinium, and now we're going to add our flair. Your flair is your delicate flowers or your tiny ones. So today you have Scabiosa. We love a Scabiosa moment. You have your ranunculus, which are so delicate. So be super careful when you're working with them. And then you have mini carns. If you're new here, I'm obsessed with carnations, Carnation Nation. I think they get a horrible rap, but they are an incredible flower. And they're gonna take this arrangement from like 0 to hero in 2 seconds. What I want you to focus on when you're adding in your flare at the end, your little bits and bobs, is having them just a hair above the rest of the arrangement, not burying them in there. Now, if you turn your work and you're like, you know what, I have a gaping hole somewhere, or I have a bit of an ugly spot, it happens. Absolutely use one of these to fill that in. But I really want you to focus on this adding some sort of whimsy, all right? Get to it, we'll check in at the end. This is the part where I'm just messing with it at the end. My top tip is if you're having a hard time finding a spot for the stem, you're probably nearing the end. You don't have to use every single flower in an arrangement. I think that is a common misconception. Whoa, this hair. I just like doing it. I just like sort of adding my little bits and bobs at the end. But you'll notice I like this darker pink to pop off because I feel like this has a lot of pink going on in it. I did not use a ton of my lighter pink roses today. It's all a preference thing. So I'm using this darker pink, but we're gonna have all these little cutie mini carns left over, so put those in a little vase on your counter as well. Use the flowers you got. That's the goal. This is 10 times better than just ordering flowers for someone on Valentine's Day, but I'm biased. Okay, back to the design. You did it. You designed a gorgeous Galentines or Valentine's arrangement. I'm so incredibly proud of you, and I hope you're proud of yourself. The coolest part about creative work is that it never turns out how we think it's going to, and that's the beauty of creativity. That is the beauty of the medium we get to work with. I'm gonna hop over and start on the next collection, which is our Valentine's collection. If you are done right now with your Galentine's arrangement, enjoy it. Display it in your home, add fresh water every single day. Make sure that you're keeping that water line pretty high. You want your stems to be able to drink. And then my number one tip is as things start wilting or drooping, don't leave them in there, pull them out, and then just sort of kerfluffle your arrangement around it instead of leaving it in there because it'll turn the rest of your flowers bad a little bit faster if you leave it in there. It's like a fruit bowl. Once one banana goes brown, you know, you're up, I wasn't gonna say a bad word. So you're up the creek without a paddle. Okay, I'll see ya. I'm hopping over to the next tutorial. If you're done, happy Valentine's, happy Galentine's. Stay healthy, stay happy, and thank you for supporting Sweetwater Floral. See ya. Time for tutorial number 2. It is our Valentine's collection. If you purchase Valentine's collection, I am so grateful. Welcome. I'm Kaylin Sheik. I own a company called Sweetwater Floral. You know that part already. Let's get to the fun part. Now, today I'm going to design this out of the vase. Do not panic. It is the same mechanics you can use in the vase if that's more your style. So I'm eventually going to place my arrangement in this gorgeous little yellow cutie sort of vase. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna design it in my hand so you can see how we work product around in an even way to get started and just sort of disperse the flowers a little evenly. Before we even get to the fun part, we gotta clean up these stems. So I'm gonna go through my alstroemeria. I'm gonna remove almost all the leaves, about 90% of them. So this guy would be ready. On these gorgeous mums, I'm gonna remove all the foliage. And then on the roses, I'm also gonna remove, and then I'm gonna zhuzh these open, which I'll show you in just a second. Before we get started designing, I want to teach you a little rose trick. If you've ever learned with me before, you know I'm very passionate about people getting their roses to look as beautiful as possible. So chances are after a day of conditioning, your roses look like this. But what I want you to do is remove all the foliage. Then I would like you to pinch and pull off these green guard petals. And then, once you've removed those, just be gentle, nothing too crazy. I'm gonna remove the outside 2 petals. You're gonna pull petals off the flower. Just gently. And then you're gonna be able to just relax the rose a little bit. Just help it open up a little bit wider. Now, the white roses in your collection or the lighter roses are going to be a little harder to relax. Never force it. You can just play with peeling back the petals a little bit if you want them to look a little different, but never, ever, ever force it. If it doesn't have any give in the stem, in the petal structure, you don't want to do anything to it that could compromise it. Once I get this, look at, this is the difference. Unjudged, judged. I'll take this every day. Okay, you've got your ingredients, they're prepped. Let's get to the design. To begin, you are going to grab 1 stem. You're not gonna overthink it. There's no right or wrong order. Then you're gonna take a different variety, different stem. You're going to cross them like so, creating an X. Then you're gonna take your 3rd option and you're going to have it go create an X in the different direction. Does that make sense? You're almost gonna add it so that you're creating a triangle with your stems. And then you're going to just turn your work in your hand. I'm gonna show you that move again, and we're gonna get a close-up of it. You've got 3 stems like this, and I'm gonna just turn the stems in my hand. What I am not doing is I'm not doing this. Wrong. I don't know if we can edit a big red X on that. Hopefully we did. What I want you to do is turn the work. You can just grab the stems, turn them. So easy. Then you're gonna add another ingredient, turn the stems. This is gonna feel really, really, really counterintuitive and messy and weird. And you're just gonna keep at it. Just keep adding stems, a variety of ingredients. You'll see I've got my mums, my alstroemeria. Now I'm gonna add in a white rose here. Not overthinking it, but I'm turning, here it comes again. Now I've got it in my little, my little okay sign right here. I'm gonna grab the product, the flowers, and turn them just a 1/4 turn. I'm not doing this, and I'm certainly not spinning it 360. I'm just doing 1/4 turn, add something, 1/4 turn, add something. Practice for a few minutes. Do not panic. You're probably like, what in the hell? I bought this collection. Now we're doing like level 500 floral design. This is like really basic stuff. How to make your flowers arranged out of the vase so that when you plop them in here, they're gonna look gorgeous. This is the same thing we do in the vase. It's just in our hand. Okay, I'm gonna add a bunch. You're gonna add a bunch, and we'll meet up in a few. Okay, so we've designed this gorgeous sort of spiral in your hand. It is time for it to go in the vase. Once it's getting pretty big and a little tough to hold, it's ready. So what you're gonna do is now I'm going to cut. I'm gonna cut straight across all my stems. My tip is to turn it to the side, and then we're gonna show you, I'm just gonna go ch-ch-ch. Once you've cut, you're gonna place it in the water. I'll check in a second. When you are cutting your stems, you want to work straight across, trying to cut them all the same length. They're not going to be perfect. Don't stress about it. But what you don't want to do is weasel your way through there. You just sort of want to keep your snips straight on and then just sort of trim everybody so they're even. Okay, so you've placed your arrangement into your vase, and now you can fuss and muss with it a little bit. You can add your last few stems if you want them to be at a different height, but I love when collections have a more monochromatic color scheme. This one was really super purpley, keeping everything almost at the same level, just so that you can have that fun with all the colors look so great together when they go together, which I did on purpose. You think I know what I'm doing. Okay, so we have this gorgeous arrangement. I'm gonna clean up my workspace. You sort of, mess around with the heights, and then we'll check in at the end to talk about taking care of it. Congratulations, you finished your Valentine's collection. I hope you love your design. My goal with these collections and these projects is that you take away with you a skill of learning that creative work is never what we expect it to be, and your flowers probably look a little different than you thought your arrangement would look like in the beginning. That's floral design. That is where the joy is, in just sort of releasing the control and letting the flowers do their own thing. What you want to make sure of is that you're adding fresh water to these flowers every single day, and that as they, age out, if you have some that looks a little droopy or some of the petals are dropping, remove that specific flower instead of leaving it in there, because if you leave it in there, it'll turn the rest of the flowers brown a little bit faster. Thanks so much. That is it for our February Valentine's collections for 2022. I cannot thank you enough for being along for the ride and supporting our small business. Whether you design Galentines, Valentines, or the few of you out there who design both, way to be. Remember, you probably will have some leftover flowers. Keep them in water, make sure you treat them well, and give them out to people you love or care about, or make another little mini arrangement with them. Have fun with it. Remember to add fresh water daily and enjoy your flowers. Have a happy Valentine's Day.